In addition to those new surveillance videos, the NYPD today released the transcripts of several 911 calls reporting a man armed with a gun.
It turns out Saheed Vassell was actually holding a pipe in the shape of a gun. And today, the state attorney general's office has opened an investigation.
Now, just within the last half hour, we learned from the medical examiner that Vassell was shot between 7 and 9 times, including once in the head.
We have 2 reports on the investigation and the community's response, beginning with Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett. NJ.
And I'm here today because I feel
That's right, Dave. The scene of the shooting has become a memorial, a vigil now going on, and a protest. There's a substantial police presence here amid some very angry people on the street. The investigation is still ongoing, but the questions persist. Were the police justified in the use of deadly force? Did this have to be a split-second decision? Clearly, the family believes it didn't have to be.
This was Saheed Vassell, moments before he would be shot to death by New York City police officers. Startling random people on Utica Avenue, even young children, clearly behaving as if the silver object in his right hand is a pistol. Disturbing enough that several panicked people called 911. "There's a guy in a brown jacket walking around pointing," said one caller. "I don't know. What is he pointing in people's face? They say it's a gun. It's silver." And this from another caller. "There's a guy walking around the street. He looks like he's crazy, but he's pointing something at people that looks like a gun, and he's like popping it as if he's pulling the trigger." Authorities say this was the scene as officers rolled up, Vassell pointing it directly at them. 4 officers would fire a total of 10 shots, a split-second decision to protect themselves, the residents, and the 911 callers who called them in the first place. One of the shots went clear through the corner grocery and lodged in the wall. But Saheed Vassell was holding a length of pipe attached to a shower head. Mayor de Blasio was careful today not to blame the victim or the officers who opened fire.
They believe they were dealing with an immediate matter of life and death to the people in the surrounding area. That's an exceedingly difficult, tense, split-second decision that has to be made. But we can't judge until we do a full investigation.
Saheed Vassell was bipolar and well known in the neighborhood. His relatives insist he was not a violent person and was never a threat to anyone. That despite his clearly erratic behavior, the officers should have held their fire.
If a police gonna shoot someone, your life should be in danger. And I don't think the police life were not in danger.
I'm really upset because the police did not have to shoot my son down like that.
Well, regardless of what the video shows, there are many people in this community who believe that it did not have to be a split-second decision. One major question as the state attorney general's investigation gets underway here tonight. Live tonight, Crown Heights, Brooklyn, NJ Burkett, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, NJ. Well, despite reports Vassell was waving a pipe at people like a gun, many are angry over this police shooting. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles live in Crown Heights, where the first of 2 vigils is now underway. Darla.
That's right, David. I want to show you the scene here at the intersection of Montgomery Street and Utica Avenue. Everyone is here. Multiple civil rights organizations are here to protest the shooting of Saheed Vassell. There is a press conference going on across the street where NJ Burkett is. The family is expected to attend. And let me tell you what the complaint is right now. Even though the NYPD has been visible, they've been objective, they put the video out as well as those 911 calls. The complaint here today is, why weren't those officers who are professionally trained, why didn't they know the difference between a pipe and a gun?
Too many of us have died because the police think it's a gun. What about their eyes? Isn't the police trained to use his eyes?
To the eyes of the 3 people who called 911, the object in the hand of Saheed Vassell was a gun. But in the eyes of many African Americans, the narrative of an unarmed black man being shot by police is old and tired.
This notion that the police use every day, I think it was a gun, or it appeared to be a gun, or I felt my life was threatened. It doesn't make sense.
The community, we want transparency.
The NYPD has not hesitated to release 911 calls and surveillance video to address the community outcry to the fatal Wednesday evening shooting that played out on the busy Crown Heights corner of Utica Avenue and Montgomery Street. But questions still remain.
We've seen the still photos, but we want to see the actual video of how everything transpired. If they gave this young man verbal commands to drop whatever is in his hand, or did they actually just get out and start firing on him?
And as family and friends and community advocates prepare for another vigil and protest, they'd rather not to have to do it at all.
How many more of us will die before this stops?
Again, this is a live look at Utica Avenue and Montgomery Street here in Crown Heights. You see the signs that say Black Lives Matter, Stop Shooting, Start Living. This is the beginning of multiple vigils to be held this evening in honor of Saheed Vassell. At 6 o'clock, this group is expected to march to the 71st Precinct, where they will continue their protest.